Here we have a LX570 in for the U1000. Right there. And then in the back we have the 2K dash cam. This here is a 2009 Camry. We're doing a backup camera and backup sensor install for it. There's a backup camera. It's on the license plate. And then we have a silver kit for the backup sensors. Now, as you can see, this bumper has seen better days. It's got quite a few scratches on it, but you might be wondering, okay, well, this car's it's not worth that much and it's already damaged, so why am I going to invest in rear visibility? Well, the thing is, it's not just about you, it's also about other drivers, pedestrians and whatnot. You don't want to be hitting anyone. You know, it's a pretty big car and some people can't see out the back that well, so having this extra rear visibility doesn't hurt. And so we have the sensor display, that's also a speaker. So sensor display and speaker is up there by the clock, and then the customer wanted the rear view monitor coming out of here, so we took the vent out, ran the wire into the vent. That way we don't have to cut anything and we don't have to have wires kind of hanging out the side. So when you shift into reverse, it takes a second and then lights up there. You can see the display now, it says 1.7. I think it's in meters. And as we get closer and closer to Lexus. There we go. So we have the CX-9 in for a U1000. It's a top of the line CX-9. I guess a GT or Signature or something like that. There's a rear camera, just like any other Mazda hatchback really. Nothing too complicated there. What's really cool about this CX-9, we're doing the U1000 with the radar module. Now the radar module is right there on the window. You can see the little line there. What this does is it actually saves you a lot of energy. So in energy saving parking mode, normally how it works, you know, a lot of people ask us, you know, if the camera is only recording if there's motion, then why do I need a battery pack? You know, why does it drain so much power? The way normal motion detection works with any Viofo, Blackview, Thinkware dash cam, you're gonna have like motion, you're gonna have the video sensor running basically all the time. It just doesn't write anything to the memory card unless something happens, but it needs to run all the time in order to give you those 5-10 seconds before an incident, which are absolutely crucial. Now running video sensors front and back, that drains a lot of power. It's basically on 100%. You know, GPS and Wi-Fi are turned off, but you still got video sensors running. And so with this radar module here, we're able to use what's called energy saving parking mode. Now energy saving parking mode's a little bit flawed originally, because energy saving parking mode only does impacts, and it will only record after you get hit. Now what's cool about this is it has a little motion sensor unit inside, but it's very low energy, so it doesn't draw all that power. You don't need to keep both video sensors running to get motion detection, but you're still getting the benefits of energy saving. Now the only thing is, if you park in a busy area where the camera's basically going non-stop, like on a very busy street, then it probably doesn't make much of a difference because that video sensor is on anyways. But if you're parking in like your own work parking lot and there's not that much activity between certain hours, then you're definitely going to get a lot more recording time running energy saving parking mode with the radar module. And that's usually one of the challenges, is a lot of new cars can't get you 8 or 10 hours of parking recording. I mean, they may be able to with a brand new battery, but for a lot of users, that's what they need is, you know, I want to record it while I'm at work, that kind of thing. And this kind of technology, you know, it's only about $100, but I think it's well worth it for the U1000. It is one extra wire and not one extra little thing on the window, but it's really not that bulky, and it just, yeah, you don't really notice it, and it doesn't make any sounds or lights or anything like that. Here we have this 2011 Nissan Versa sedan. This car has a factory lock, unlock, and the alarm. We're doing a two-way remote starter for it, so you can see the two-way little antenna there blinking away with the Thinkware FA200 there. And this one is just the one-channel FA200. Now with the two-way one, it's pretty neat because you get the confirmation light. So these are all lit up, and then we have the remote starter down here. So to do the remote start, you hold this button, the key, for 3 seconds. Sends a little beep. And then you get a little confirmation, beep, 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 once it's completed. Now you can also use this to turn it off. Very straightforward for this car. We do the iDatastart. So you can, I don't know if the trunk release works, depends on the car. I guess it just unlocks. It doesn't actually, oh no, actually it does pop. That's nice. That's cool, eh? So the factory remote doesn't even do that. There's no trunk release button on here, but somehow this guy can. That's slick. So customer gets an extra function. I didn't even know that. This here is a 2013 Fiat 500C, so the convertible model. We do a head unit and a backup camera on it. Here's the backup camera. And the factory radio. Rear camera wire going through there. Steering controls on the back of the wheel. You can mute as well. That does a attenuation on there. We're using the Crux module for this car. This is a Sony AX8000, really cool new head unit for 2020 from Sony. It's a single DIN because this car's only got a single DIN. So told the customer, you know, it's gonna block the vents. And he's like, that's fine. I've got vents on the side here, and it's still got quite a bit of clearance. If you want to adjust these vents, it's not bad to reach. There's a good, you know, 2.5 inches there. Just gonna turn off the demo mode there. And it's got an anti-glare screen, which is great for a convertible like this. These cars, you know, the biggest thing is the backup camera. These cars, despite being really small, the visibility is terrible. So having this 9-inch screen as a backup camera is awesome. I don't think many new cars even have 9-inch screens, let alone in this segment. And obviously we're going to have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay through the USB. USB extension is really long and comes out of the front for this one, so you have to kind of play around with the wire management. We haven't tried that out yet. So I've got my phone here plugged in for Android Auto. There you can see our navigation with the Google Maps and some of the other stuff here. Let's turn on the... So when I turn on the headlights, the head unit will dim and undim. Put it in the dark mode. You guys can probably see a little bit clearer in the dark mode. So there you can see with the headlights off. Takes a bit of a second. The CAN bus reads the car's data, generates the illumination output, and then the head unit switches over from day to night mode. 2016 Lexus NX in for winter wheel and tire package. Got the stock F Sport wheels and these Replika R224s from Fastco. These will take a few things. It takes a TPMS obviously, and the factory Lexus center cap, and also the factory Lexus mag seat bolts, and the wheel lock of course. So the hardwire is the direct fit from the factory wheels like that. And I think as far as an F Sport looking wheel, this wheel looks way more F Sport than these ones. And yeah, so the winter tire package with the Falken winter peaks right here retails for about $1,600 plus tax, including the TPMS sensors. So that's a great value. $400 a corner is going to last you at least 4 or 5 years if you don't drive a crazy amount. And yeah, you're going to be able to stop much better than on these premises. Got this 2016 Sienna, I believe, in for some winter tires. We just swapped them out. The factory ones are in the trunk right now. This car we went with a steel wheel, no tire pressure sensors, and a Continental winter tire. You know, if you're on a budget, this is a great way to go because the steel wheels cost next to nothing, and it's going to save you a lot in terms of labor costs over the years, because if you go with a factory wheel and you have to swap it twice a year, you're paying about $180 to $200 of labor per year, and a set of these wheels goes for maybe $300 for this car. So the whole wheel and tire package without TPMS, so if you don't mind having a light on your dashboard, is under $1,000, which for a family car like this is kind of a no-brainer, because you're going to be able to stop a lot better, accelerate a lot better, keep the kids and family safe. You got your stop tires in the bag there, and then you just have to put those in storage. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have room for extra set of wheels. Well, really, extra set of wheels takes up the same amount of space as an extra set of tires. So yeah, this is a great way to go. Good value. You don't have to go with the full, I think this is an SE model, so it's got like 19-inch wheels. You don't have to go up to a 19. You get an 18-inch Steely and keep your family safe. And over here we have this Audi Q5. Customer just picked it up from a dealership. They had a black CIS CH100B in their previous car, which was also a Q5, but had a rear camera go bad on it, so they're just like, let's switch to something what's reliable. Thinkware is really the most reliable in our opinion. So there's the Q800 Pro. 28 kilometers on the clock, literally brand new. Back here we have the Q800 Pro. These cars are pretty tricky because this is one big piece. There's a trick to getting this all off without breaking anything. And then yeah, you just run the wire through there. And the customer just picked up this brand new Camry. It's got the Thinkware FA200. It's just the budget setup. So parking mode there, 128 gig card. We always recommend getting a bigger card for parking mode, because you want to be able to go further back, because sometimes you just don't know when something happened. This car is brand new, 250 kilometers on the clock. Nice thing about Thinkware FA200 is that we can add a few things. You can add a GPS and you can add a rear camera down the road. Now you can either do a rear camera, like for the interior view if you're doing Uber or something with this car, or you can do the regular rear camera on the rear window. Nice thing about having just the front though is it's super energy efficient. So even with a car like this, I think this is a 4-cylinder Camry, not too big of a battery on it, but you can still get pretty respectable parking mode recording times out of it. With the 128 gig card, we're looking at about $300 installed, and really solid camera with the option to add a rear camera later on. The one thing we don't like about Blackview cameras is that if you get the 1-channel version, that's it. You don't get to add a rear camera later on. So, and we just finished this 2020 Ram Classic with a 55% front tint and a 5% rear tint. This truck actually had a factory tint already, but a lot of people that use these trucks, you have expensive tools in the back or something, you don't want people seeing in. Right now I cannot see in whatsoever. So with the camera pressed up directly against the glass, I can see through the front window, but I can't see through the back. And so that's the kind of nice thing with tint like this. So 55% on the front. Not too obvious. The 5% is pretty heaty. Customer wanted to do 18 in the front, and that's a little bit much. Here's the Crosstrek. We just changed the boomerang light to an LED. Originally had these yellow halogens in there. This car has the factory HID option as well. Here we have this 2016 Civic sedan. We did the LED sport lines in the low beam, and then for the fog light, customer didn't want to spend too much, so we went with the Nokya super white or Arctic white, they call it. It's not quite as white as the sport lines or the factory DRL strip, but it's a lot nicer than the stock output. As you can see here, and it's not particularly bright, but these are pretty bright in the projectors.